Welcome to our 9th and final session of Kinston 101, Self-Guided. Today we'll be talking about the budget. Feel free to take this session at your own pace and take breaks when you need it. Let's get started. What is the budget? The budget is our guidebook for spending money through the year based on our expected revenues to accomplish the goals that are set by our City Council. But it's also many other things. It's a strategic plan. It should reflect community values, separate our wants from our needs, but it can't be all things to all people. There must be some prioritization. The following are the objectives based on the Council's direction from 2019 that show the most important things that we should be able to accomplish in a year's budget. Maintain a consistent level of essential services. Resurface city-owned streets. Support resilient and well-prepared police and fire departments, demolish unsafe and dangerous structures, develop property to encourage investment in the community, renovate and improve public areas to provide attractive segues between businesses and residential, water and sewer infrastructure, and electric system infrastructure. The budget is also a useful policy tool for our financial policies, like our reserves, how much do we want to save each year? Our funds, how we separate money. As we've learned about in several other sessions, our enterprise funds are for business-like parts of the city. For example, our electric enterprise fund collects the electric fees charged to City of Kinston utility customers and is used to support the infrastructure and maintenance of our electric system. And finally, debt and capital reserves. How can we afford necessary big-ticket expenses? Then we have our service policies. Outside our necessary services, what other services and programs do citizens want to see? The basic requirements for the budget are that it be adopted by July 1st every year, be balanced, meaning that our expenditures and our savings equal our revenue each year. It's discussed in open meetings by the City Council, which the public has a right to attend. It's passed by simple majority vote, and it maintains a minimum fund balance. As we learned in our finance session, our fund balance is like our savings account. This is recommended by the Local Government Commission to ensure that the city has enough money to address emergencies if necessary. There are many challenges when creating a budget, because our population and economy are constantly changing. There's lots of stress on local revenue sources. Local governments have fewer options to gain revenue as given to them by our state's General Assembly. Mostly this comes from property and sales tax, which is directly related to the number of people who choose to live in Kinston and the number of people who come and visit Kinston and spend money. The additional funding we can get from the state and federal government and other sources like grants come with restrictions. Most often, these grant funds can only be used for the specific project that the city applied for when it came available. There's also less reliable support from the state and federal government. The city does receive certain contributions from the county and from the state for their tax revenue sources, but those amounts can change at any time, and the city must be prepared to provide its essential services regardless of whether it receives that additional support. Let's talk about some of the players in the budget process. First is the City Council, which reviews the budget each year and is able to legally pass the budget. Next is the City Manager, who oversees the budget process through his employees and presents the budget to the City Council each year, giving them the highlights for what that budget includes and the major considerations that will go into the next fiscal year. The Finance Director helps provide the numbers and the description of what's been going on in the budget for the previous year, as the Finance Director is responsible for ensuring that the city stays on track in the next fiscal year. Our Financial and Budget Administrator reviews the entire budget process and assists the City Manager in presenting it to the City Council. They also support all our department heads, who are each responsible for creating their own department's budget. Citizens are also an important part of the budget process. Citizens help hold the City Council and our department heads accountable and can ask for changes from our department heads in the services that they provide and want the levels of services that they want to see provided. News media is relatedly important by covering the budget process when it happens through December to July and ensuring a transparent process at every level. The budget timeline covers nearly half a year in order to prepare for July 1st. Starting in December, departments share their expected costs for the following year, what they think they'll need to spend. In January, the budget administrator prepares the department budget request worksheets, in which each department can request their expected budget and any additions they think they might need. In February through March, departments submit these budget worksheets to the budget administrator, and the City Council goes on their budget retreat, where they do some visioning for the year ahead and think about their priorities for this upcoming budget. In April, revenue projections, how much money the city thinks that it will bring in, are due, which then inform the final budget, which gets presented to the City Council in May for their review. Then in June, a public hearing is held so that citizens can come and comment on the budget and discuss with the City Council. Then the budget is adopted prior to July 1st when the new fiscal year begins. Where can I find the Kinston City budget? You can find it online at the link you see, or by going to our city website at kinstonnc.gov, going to our Government tab, Departments tab, and clicking on the budget. It's also available in print from our city clerk, who can be contacted at 252-939-3115. Previous budgets have been over 480 pages. If you're just looking for the highlights, it's good to start with the manager's message, which is an overview of the budget for that year and the major considerations that went into it. Budget process and structure, which can help give an outline of the budget in the following pages. Your tax dollar, which shares the amount of cents of each tax dollar that the city citizens pay, what goes to each department. And then finally, department narratives, which describes each department and their divisions, what they do, their accomplishments in the previous fiscal year, and what they're looking forward to accomplishing in the next fiscal year. That concludes our Kinston 101 self-guided sessions. Remember, the end is just the beginning. You can continue to attend City Council sessions, contact your department heads, and be involved in future city programs. Thank you for watching, and please consider joining us in person for our next Kinston 101 program.